You are listening to the Chits and Giggles podcast. Hey guys, and welcome to this edition of Chits and Giggles Chit Chat. And this week I am joined with Ash. Hey Ash, how's it going?
Good, thank you, Ben. How are you?
I am awesome. Today we're going to be talking about board game mashups. And I was actually inspired by you, Ash, when you posted a link to a game you were playing. It was like Codenames and Disdixit mixed together.
Yeah, I keep seeing it on Instagram all the time, so I knew I had to try it out. It's pretty fun, but it's actually very difficult.
Yeah, give us a run through of how the game went.
Well, it's basically like what you say. It's Codenames, but with Dixit cards. And I guess if you've ever played Dixit, it's very, very abstract. A lot more abstract than Codenames with words. So it's quite interesting.
Because I find with Codenames that, like, often, 2 or 3 is pretty good on a turn.
3 is amazing. I don't even know if I've ever come up with 3, except one time I lucked out and got 4 animals. They were all my thing. Nice. So I was just like, animals 4. That's the only time it's ever happened for me ever. So
that's cool. And when you play with Dixit cards, is it, because I imagine when I think of it that you get 1 every turn. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think so, and this is kind of something I find a lot that happens in Mysterium as well, is that you'll kind of start picking colours and stuff. So you'll be like, blue 4 or something. So it's probably not in the best spirit of the game. I definitely try to go off, I guess, the feel of the card and the emotion of the card, the story. That makes it a lot more fun. But I find a lot of players do kind of tend to go, oh, well, there's a person in this one, and there's a person 2 or something. And it's all right. But yeah, it's a really, really fun mashup, I can say that. And yeah, love it.
I'm going to have to give it a go, because I like both of those games individually. So the idea of mashing them up is going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's lots of fun.
With Mysterium, I try to give myself a 1-card policy when giving the dreams.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I've seen some players and they hand you 4 cards, and I swear they're just doing it because they want to get rid of cards from their hand. But it's so confusing when you have, because if you have 1 card and it's just instinct, circles. Okay, this room has a circle in or something, I'm going to pick that room. But when they give you 4 cards or something and you're like, 3 of them have circles, 3 of them are blue. It's so confusing.
Yeah, it's so contradicting sometimes. I agree. Actually, I should try and do that rule as well, because I'm a little bit guilty of doing that. I give multiple cards. I'm like, this one and this one, but it's so confusing. So
yeah,
I love being the ghost. It's the one game that I actually enjoy being that player. I usually hate being the person who has to give the clues, or in Codenames, I can't stand being the person who has to give the clues. I want to guess. It's too stressful.
What's great fun is if you play a game like Pandemic and you have an alpha player in your group, when you go into Mysterium, get them to be the ghost, because it's the one person who isn't allowed to talk.
Oh my god, that is perfect.
So then everybody else actually gets to play a game for a change. So other mashups. There's a whole wide range of mashups I've seen and played which use Cards Against Humanity as a big basis from it. So one of them which I've seen, and I used to actually teach it back in the cafe, was Concept Against Humanity.
Oh my god.
Because I always used to teach Concept, because I love that game. I am completely in love with Concept. I almost bought the giant party mat, but then I realised I don't have enough friends for a party, so I don't really need the party mat. But Concept Against Humanity is awesome, because you're using the Cards Against Humanity cards and then having to try and communicate them using the concept board, which when the card is Daniel Radcliffe's anus or whatever the cards are.
That's my high school crush.
Yeah, that can be quite tricky. But I believe there are some other Cards Against Humanity mashups as well that people have been playing, like Telestrations Against Humanity and things like that. Have you played any of them?
I have. I've played the Telestrations Cards Against Humanity, and that's pretty fun. I am a really big fan of Telestrations. I don't think you are from, I think, previous podcasts I've heard. You don't like that it's not a winning game.
Yeah. No, I think it's a fun exercise, but...
Yeah, exactly. That's what I tell people. A lot of my friends have the exact same problem with the game. And I'm always telling people, like, guys, this isn't about winning. This game is purely about fun, and you're going to laugh. So it's really great for that because, I mean, I'm a bit slack. I don't want to buy the... Telestrations After Dark because I already have a copy of Telestrations, so it's so easy to just bring out Cards Against Humanity. The only problem is some things are a little bit hard to draw, so I think you just have to have a rule of like flicking through until you find something that's actually drawable. But it's fun and it's hilarious. I mean, I don't think I've ever played a game as funny as Telestrations in my life. I mean, every time I play it, there's just never-ending laughs. People are falling off chairs. Like, have
you played Fun Employed yet, though?
I haven't. What is this game?
Fun Employed. Fun Employed is like Cards Against Humanity, but actually amazing because it's very similar in the sense that you've got a judge and this person is the employer, and then everybody else is coming in for prospective interviews, and they have a hand of 4 cards, and these are certain traits about themselves, and they have to give an interview and reveal these traits throughout the interview, and these things might be like sexual Tyrannosaurus or something like that. So these traits that you have to try and get away with in the interview are pretty outrageous. But the way we found the game works is that you're not actually allowed to say what's written on the card. So you can't say, oh, I'm great at this job because I'm a sexual Tyrannosaurus. You have to actually kind of reveal this during the interview, and so when you play the card, it all makes sense. So we had one person who every time he got slightly aroused in the interview, he would let out a roar, and we had no idea why this was happening. We were like, what is going on? And then towards the end of the interview, he roared, and then he played Sexual Tyrannosaurus, and then it all made sense, and it brought the whole thing together. That game is amazing, and it's hilarious.
It just sounds so funny. I can't even believe that. Where do I find this game? I put it like Mind Games?
It's really difficult to find. I found my copy in Essen, and it was the last English copy, and it was on the first or second day. It's just insanely hard to find. But if you do find it, pick it up without hesitation. It is so funny. Once you've played that, you won't play Cards Against Humanity again.
I'll keep an eye out for that one for sure. Another good one I wanted to mention, so this is actually like a game by itself, but I feel like it's a mashup of 2 games, and it's called A Fake Artist Goes to New York. Yep. So it's basically a mashup, in my opinion, of Telestrations and Spyfall.
Yeah.
Basically there is a fake artist, or, the spy, like in Spyfall, and one player gives everyone a particular word, location, item, anything, and they'll write them down for every player, but one player gets an X, and they're the fake artist, and everyone has to actually draw a picture and basically add to this picture and absolve themselves of being the fake artist. And so it's basically, Spyfall meets Telestrations, and it's amazing. And I think that really solves the problem of it not being a winning game. Because I know a lot of people really hate that about Telestrations. And it's like, it's just one flaw about Telestrations, because people do like to win. But
this is the thing. I picked up a copy of A Fake Artist Goes to New York at Essen last year, but annoyingly I didn't pick it up for myself. I picked it up for the cafe that I worked in, because it was funny, because we couldn't get hold of Spyfall at the time, and so I played A Fake Artist Goes to New York, and I think it's Oink Games. They're a Japanese publisher, and every single one of their games is amazing. They're these tiny little boxes, and it's got great artwork on the front. I believe recently you played the deep sea diving one.
Oh my god, I'm obsessed with that game.
Yeah, that game is
amazing.
Awesome. That game is awesome. All of their games, really if you ever see an Oink game, they're fantastic. And A Fake Artist Goes to New York, I think it cost €25, and I remember for such a small box, which is just paper and textures essentially, I was like, I can't justify it, but it's one of the regrets, my biggest regrets. I wish I had bought it, because it is such an amazing game. It's so much fun. And of course, we ended up making it so that instead of you you'd start off and you would tell everyone to draw a tree or something, and that was it. Eventually, it ended up with you were drawing one of the players who was playing with you doing something lewd, and that's what everyone was drawing. And the things got more and more outrageous as the night progressed. So not only were you having to try and hide who the fake artist was, you were trying to draw a picture of Russell, playing tennis with a T-Rex or something. You know what I mean?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it was.
It's quite difficult because also, like, I mean, obviously you're trying to not give away what the actual thing is for the fake artist because they have to guess where you are or what it is, and so it's actually quite challenging to try and think of something to draw but not give it away.
It really is. There was one game, it was so difficult. I decided, I just announced I was going to draw a car every time it was my turn. I was just going to draw a car. But then you drew a car in such a way that made people go, oh yeah, no, you do know what we're supposed to be drawing. That's where a car would be. It's a great game. Great game.
Yeah.
But it's true. It is like a mashup of those two, and it's such a good mashup. They made it into a game, which is a great idea.
It's so good. Like, I mean, those are two of my absolute favorite party games. So that's just home run for me.
Yeah.
I love it.
There's one more mashup which I've heard about but haven't played, but I really want to play. It's a mashup between Last Night on Earth, which was kind of like my go-to zombie game before Dead of Winter and Zombicide came out. And it's mashed up with Mall Madness, which is like a 1989 teeny bopper board game where you go shopping at the mall.
Shopping! Love that.
But because the board is like a grid, exactly the same as the board is from Last Night on Earth, it means you can just play set in a mall setup. So it's kind of like Dawn of the Dead or something. It's amazing. The pictures I've seen of people playing it makes me want to play it.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like the game version of Dawn of the Dead. I'd love that.
It's
so fun to give it a go. But yeah, it's very strange.
I'd like to somehow incorporate Dream Phone into that as well. A third game.
Dream Phone? I've never heard of this
Dream
one.
Phone. So Dream Phone, I hadn't heard about this until I was asked by every 20-something-year-old woman at the board game cafe, do we have Dream Phone? Because they wanted to relive their childhood. And Dream Phone is essentially Cluedo, but instead of trying to find a murderer, you're trying to find out
your true love.
Well, it's who this guy fancies, essentially, like Chad or Brad or another ad, one of these guys. And you would pick up the phone and he would say, I am in love with someone wearing yellow, or something like this. And you would then be able to cross that off on your list, kind of Cluedo style, and try and work out who the crush is. So yeah, and I was asked for this game all the time, and I'd never heard of it, so I had to look it up to work out what this game was. But in some people's childhoods, Dream Phone was a very, very big, important part.
Yeah, that does sound pretty amazing, especially for girls. That sounds really fun. I mean, way more fun than Cluedo, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I kind of would rather play Dream Phone than Cluedo, to be honest, but don't tell anyone that.
Oh, okay. So another mashup is like Werewolf with using Dixit cards or Mysterium cards. So it's kind of like in the night phase, you give the villagers, I guess everyone, the Dixit cards to try and like tell them and point them in the right direction of who the werewolf is.
Oh, so are these just the dead villagers or everyone?
I think everyone.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've never played this one, but a friend of mine told me about it. It sounded really interesting, just to, I guess, give that extra level of strategy. Because
it would be cool if the dead villagers got to do something, because that's one of the biggest problems with the werewolves.
Oh, yeah, no, I forgot about part of the story. So the dead villagers are the ones that are the ghosts. That's like Mysterium, basically.
Oh, right.
So, okay. They're the ghosts who give the clue. Yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting.
No, that's cool, because then it means that because, I mean, it is fun being eliminated, and then you finally find out who the werewolves are. And then to be able to try and communicate that through dreams, I guess that would be quite awesome. I want to give that a go. That would be really fun.
Yeah, I would really love to try that out. Try and be a ghost for real. It'd be pretty funny.
Do you prefer the Dixit cards or the Mysterium cards generally?
I definitely prefer the Dixit cards, I have to say. I just think Mysterium cards aren't crazy enough for me. Like, I just think that the Dixit cards are so cool and quirky, and Mysterium's a bit dialed back. That's just my opinion, but...
That's interesting. Because like I have the the Polish Mysterium version.
Yeah.
Because I was worried that when they released the English one, that the art would be
I
less.
think the cards are the same.
I think they are.
I think I played the Italian version and I've played the like American version, and they had the same cards.
Yeah. I think they decided to keep the same artwork, which is pretty cool. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely lovely. I love them. I just think, I don't know, I'm just a real Dixit fangirl. So.
That's cool. So earlier you were talking about using Dixit and playing Codenames.
Yes.
And I heard recently that they were actually going to release this as a real game.
Yes, they are. So, CGE, they're releasing it around Essen. So, what's that, like October? November, maybe this year. They're releasing basically that very version. I'm not exactly sure what kind of pictures are going to be used.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be amazing if it was Dixit style artwork. That's probably my dream. But I'm not sure if it might be more like photos or what exactly it's going to be. But
that'll be interesting. I guess that's going to be hard for them, hey, because if they don't get it right, people are just going to be like, oh, I could just play this with Dixit. But like you were saying, when you played and people kind of steered towards saying a color, I guess it means they can approach that problem head on.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So hopefully they can kind of allow for that and try and fix the problem. Like, and I feel like that's a problem I have in Mysterium as well. I don't know if you come up against that, but that people kind of just say, oh, it's blue, or
yeah,
I don't know. That's just kind of what I find with a lot of these picture kind of games. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what they do. But I mean, after obviously like Codenames has just been so successful, and it's just like everyone's favorite party game now.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do really well with this game. So it'll just be really interesting to see how they do it.
Well, the words they picked in the original version are so genius. When you sit down and actually think about the words they've picked, they're so clever. I'm sure with the same brains behind it, they will. Because what's his name? Was it Vlada? What's his name?
Yeah, Vlad Shavatel.
Yeah, he's
I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah.
I'm one day I'll meet him and I'll completely screw it up. But he's such a good designer. There's nothing he can't design. So it's going to be amazing. You know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty awesome for sure. I mean, I love Codenames. So it's such a easy, fun game. Like, I've played this with gamers and non-gamers, and everyone just loves it. Yeah, it's easy to get into, but it's hard to master, and it's a bit stressful. So,
and the games are often close, unless someone picks the assassin right at the start. The games are usually, it's, you know, if you didn't win, the other team would have won the next turn type thing.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. Everyone loves a close game, right?
Yeah. So I'm so excited to have a go at that, because I'm going to go to Essen, so I'm definitely going to either pick it up or play it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that you'll love it. I mean, I think anyone that likes Codenames is going to like this. Maybe that's too broad to say, but I just think, I mean, it's just such a good concept. And I like so many people I see are playing Dixit Codenames. Like on Instagram, there's just so many people playing it. So yeah, I think it's just going to be pretty popular.
Oh, I'm excited.
I just hope, fingers crossed for Dixit-like artwork. That's my dream.
Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. But speaking of games I'm excited about, what games coming out over the next year, or even games that are just coming into your life this year, are you excited about?
Oh gosh, I'm excited about so many games. Yeah, it's I don't know, there's so many that I want to play. So yeah, I just found out about the Hot 10 feature on Board Game Geek. So I've been really racking my brain to really nail down the 10 that I'm really excited about.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so Dead of Winter is one of my all-time favorite games. I think second favorite game ever. So I mean, the expansion for that, obviously, cannot wait to try that out. I heard because a few people have been playing prototypes of it it must have been on Tabletop Day or something as it must have been a special thing, I think. And they were playing the Dead of Winter expansion. I don't think it's out yet till September, but these people were playing an early version of it. And they were telling me there's a new character that's like Sparky. It's a lab monkey or something.
Okay, that sounds cool.
That's going to be interesting.
I did see a promo or a release of her. There's a card. She's like an explosive expert and can leave explosives in a location or something. There's some pretty cool things coming in that, I think.
But what I found really interesting about this is that apparently it's like a standalone game as well as an expansion.
Oh, I love when they do that.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be like so cool. But yeah, I'll be really interested to see how they do it, that's for sure. The other one I'm like just crazy excited for is Pandemic Cthulhu.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, like, what are they going to do? It's just, I don't know.
I can't, because I had a little look into it. Because the funny thing is, when Pandemic first came out, I loved it. It got a little stale for me, and all the expansions, I was kind of over Pandemic. And then Legacy came out, and I kind of was like, nah, it's not good. Nah, it's not going to be very good.
You fell in love again?
Yeah, it's amazing. And so then, of course, I've looked into this one, and it to me, it looks like there's enough changes to make it interesting again.
Yeah, for sure. I guess my fear is that it's going to be too much like Eldritch Horror. I want it to still be like Pandemic. I don't know. I just, from everything I've read, everyone's like, oh, it's a lot like Eldritch Horror. It's nothing like Pandemic. And I'm like, oh, I already have Eldritch Horror. So we'll see. I mean, I have no doubt that it's going to be amazing. I just be really interested to see how they do it, because it's like the most different thing they've done for sure.
Yeah.
So
I know that's another game that I'm going to have to check out. And it seems like now every year there's going to be a new Pandemic release, because season 2 of Legacy is going to come out eventually, and yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Let's just hope it doesn't turn into the next Munchkin, where there's like an Adventure Time Pandemic. Or
yeah, don't want that.
Yeah, I know.
I've the other game I'm like just crazy excited for that's not out yet. It's called Mystic Vale. Have you heard of it?
I haven't.
I don't really know a lot about it. I just know that I've heard that it's a deck builder, and a lot of reviewers are saying that it's like the next deck builder that is pretty much as good as Dominion, I guess. Depends if you like Dominion or not, but a lot of people are saying that it's the most interesting deck builder since Dominion. So I guess because a lot of the deck builders are just so samey.
Yeah.
And anyway, this one's just had really high reviews from a lot of reviewers. So it's just one of those games that I'm pretty excited about to play, just because...
Mystic Vale, is that what you said?
Yeah, Mystic Vale.
Oh, I have to check that out now. Is that Kickstarted, or is that traditionally released?
I know it's AEG, that's all I know.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's probably coming out like around Gen Con. But I mean, I love deck builders and I'm obsessed with Dominion.
Yep.
So we'll see.
But that's interesting, because did you say you didn't enjoy Flip City as much?
No, I didn't. I don't know. I just think it was maybe like a little too simple for me, or it's not even that. It was like simple but complicated. Does that make sense? Like, I can't explain. I know that you love it, so it's really...
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, though, the thing that I've noticed with Flip City is that I feel like if you don't teach the game right, or if someone hasn't taught the game to you in a certain way, I don't know, I've come across a lot of people and someone's taught them the game and they've made some mistakes during the teaching, and with those mistakes people go, they didn't enjoy the game, and then the experience has kind of ruined it for them, and they're not willing to do it again with fresh eyes, if that makes sense. It's been tainted.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely believe that all games deserve a second chance. There are so many games out there that I've played, didn't like it, played again with the right person or whatever. Just for whatever reason, it didn't go well the first time. So I kind of have a 3-game rule where I will always play a game at least 3 times before I actually make a proper judgment on it. I mean, look, I'll give it another chance. I just think the one thing that kind of bugged me about it was kind of like a long game. And I know it's not long at all, but I just felt like for what it was, it needed to be a 10 to 15 minute game. And I feel like the game, it goes for about 40 to 50 minutes or something. To me, that's too long. I was playing as a 4-player game, so maybe that was the problem.
Yeah.
But to me, it was a bit long. That was my problem with it.
I just picked up the Reuse expansion, and I'm really excited to give that a go. I haven't played it yet, but because I love it, I've got to give that a go. And speaking of deck builders that I love, and everyone knows how much I love this one as well, I finally picked up Star Realms Colony Wars, which because the one fault I can find with Star Realms is the luck element of, you buy a card and then the next card is exactly what the opponent needs. And I love playing Star Realms with more than 2 players, because that adds a player balance element, which means if someone is just getting too much good luck, then the other 2 players or the other 3 players can pick on them.
I've never played with more than 2, so that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is. And so now with Colony Wars, you've got the extra cards, you've got the 4 starting decks. It's kind of ready to go. It's amazing. So
tell me this about Star Realms. So like, this is another game I'm not really a big fan of. Don't hate me, Ben. But actually, it's not that I don't like it. I think I found it too simple. And I know that's part of its appeal, but I guess so. My boyfriend, he has played it with me, and he's kind of one of these people who I'm not sure of the right terminology, but he tries a lot of different strategies. Yeah. And anyways,
strategy whore, that's what they call it.
Yeah, exactly. So my strategy was to just take all the cards that were going to hurt him, basically. And he tried to take the cards that like kind of gave you life back to protect you. Now, so I'm sorry, because I haven't played this game in so long, so I don't know all the words for it.
No,
the terminologies.
That makes sense.
But basically, we played a good 5 games, and I just destroyed him in every game. And he just said, there's no way of winning unless I just consistently get cards that are going to hurt you. Like, there's not another option. Can you give me any advice on that one?
So you were just buying cards that would inflict tons of damage, and you kept winning.
Yeah. That and victory points.
I've not experienced that, and I don't want to say that maybe the problem wasn't the game, but the person you were playing against. But
fair enough.
Like to me, Star Realms is a simple game, and that's part of the thing that draws me to it, because it's a deck builder that you can get out, and a game will last 10 to 20 minutes, which is awesome. You can play lots of games. The skill luck balance is right in there, which means that you can play against someone who has played a lot more than you, and you still actually stand a chance, because there's that kind of luck curve. But because to me there's kind of a few different strategies. Like, you can do what you were saying, where you just buy, I think they're the green blob cards, and just deal lots of damage. The strategy that I like, which kind of stems on from Dominion, because my thing in Dominion, I'm not happy until I've played every single card in my deck at once on the same turn. And so I try and do that in Star Realms as well. So I like to get the red cards, which let you trash cards from your deck, so that it's smaller and smaller, and you get rid of all the stuff you don't want. And then you've got the blue cards, which then just give you lots of life. And then you've got the yellow cards, and they're the ones that kind of do lots of stuff to the other players, so it makes them discard a card or things like that. And so if you kind of stick to those colours, it kind of leads you down those 4 strategies. And again, that makes it so accessible, because instead of having to think in your head like Dominion, I want to pick this card and this card because I want to do this and this. Essentially, you just go, I'm going to go red. And you have a strategy by just choosing a colour. But then you can mix them, which is kind of cool as well. Like blue and yellow, I love to mix those together and stuff.
Okay, sure. You'll have to give it another go, I think. It's another one that I just need to give another chance.
But maybe if you tried a different strategy, then you might see it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do. I just, when you consistently win every turn, you don't want to change up your strategy.
Well, I've never experienced that problem.
Give it another go. I just think, for me personally, I just haven't found a deck builder that I feel gives me the same amount of strategy, but in a shorter time than Dominion.
Yeah.
And so that's what I feel like Star Realms and Flip City are, but I mean, Flip City, it's the same time frame as Dominion in my opinion, so it doesn't really count. But I'm looking for a micro deck builder that kind of gives me that same feel, and I just feel like I haven't found it yet. But that's just me.
That's cool.
I know everyone else is obsessed with those 2 games. I'm in the minority here by far.
Well, the thing is, because you love Dominion, and because I also love Dominion, but I guess it goes in 2 ways. Either you love Dominion and nothing else can compare to it, or you love Dominion and anything that's remotely like Dominion you're going to love as well. And I think that we're one of us is in one camp, one's in the other, and both are perfectly valid. We both love Dominion. There's nothing wrong with that.
I know, it's amazing. It's just that game. I don't know. It's just the first time I played it, I just couldn't believe what an amazing mechanic deck building was. And this is right when I started gaming for the first time. So I don't know. It's just really. I feel like it's the game that really opened my eyes to how cool games are.
No, for sure.
I've always loved it. That's why.
There's a game that I'm really excited about. And the thing is, it's not a new game, but it's new to me. And I wonder if you've heard of it as well, because it completely flew under my radar.
Okay.
It's called Oni Tama.
I've heard of it, but I don't really know anything about it. Yeah.
Because you're not a massive 2-player game fan, it might not be your kind of game. But it's a 2-player abstract strategy game where it's like perfect information. So what you have is you've got some 5 pawns, or 4 pawns and a king, I guess, or a queen, or some weird mixture of the two. And it's on a chess-style board. It's like a 5x5 board. And what you're doing is you're trying to move your pieces to take the other pieces, or you get your leader into their leader square. But the moves that you can do are written on cards. So, have you played the Duke?
I haven't, no, but I've heard a lot about that one.
That's also amazing. But so you have cards similar, and they look similar to the tiles on the Duke, and it tells you how your pieces can move. And each player has 2 cards, and then there's 1 card in the middle, and these are all face up. So I know how your pieces can move, and you know how mine can move. But once you move a piece, the card that you use, you now swap with the card that's in the middle, which means that now the other player is going to get that card at the end of their next turn.
Okay.
So the moves that you do are eventually going to then be given to the other opponent, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting. Quite abstract, by the sense of it.
And I have that on its way now, and I'm really excited about that. And again, it was 2014, and I believe it was even nominated for the Golden Geek Best Abstract Game. So by no means is this like a game no one knows about, but somehow it slipped past me, and I'm so excited now that it's on its way. I think they just did a new reprint or something, but super excited about that one.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. I do love a good abstract game. I don't know, just sometimes you don't want a theme, you just want, I don't know, that sounds weird, but it's just it's good to just have like a bit of a game that's just very like blank, and it's a lot easier to, I guess, teach to new people as well, I find.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
It's a little bit less like confronting.
I
find. Yeah, it's good for that. I guess what else am I excited for? I know this is one that you're not a big fan of, but time stories.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
have you played it before?
I haven't, no, but I'm obsessed with time travel, so this is like the game for me. I
definitely play it, because I enjoyed the game that I played, and I know that when I say this, I'm almost saying the same thing that I think Sharpens It Down said in their review. But when you're playing like a computer game as a kid or something, and you spend ages doing this level, and just at the end of the level you die.
I hate that so much.
And you have to do it all over again.
Yes.
That's Time Stories.
Oh gosh, okay.
And still definitely play it. But the thing that I recommended when I used to teach the game is, because how the game works is you have these units of time, and every time you do something you lose the time, and if you don't solve the mission by the time limit finishes, then you have to start again. And then you literally start again.
Okay, but tell me this. How is that any different to, say, playing Pandemic, and then you lose, and then you're like, let's play another game?
Because in Pandemic, where the diseases will start will be completely different. You can change the characters, but literally everything's the same. And it's almost like a choose your own adventure book, and you just have to start reading it again. So when you used to read the Choose Your Own Adventures, you'd put your finger in it, and then you'd be like, if I die, I'm just going to go back to there.
Yeah.
This is what I recommend you do, put the proverbial finger in Time Stories. When you die, just carry on.
Okay.
And then the thing is, because the first time I did it, we died, we started again, and then when we died again, or died or failed or whatever it is, because I don't want to ruin the thing for you, we just kept on going. And again, it was fantastic, and the story is awesome, and solving the puzzles and stuff is great, and it is a fun experience.
Yeah.
But it just brought that feeling, came flooding back to me, just like, no, what, really, again, the whole thing, again, right now,
yeah, it is pretty painful. I know. I mean, I hated it when I was a kid, that's for sure. So
yeah. But
I'll
I guess
definitely keep that in mind.
If you play it and then you go like, oh, okay, that's okay, and you play it in another week or another couple of weeks and then start again, then it's fine, because it will kind of be fresh and you don't mind doing it again. But with me, I did it straight away, for sure, straight away. And so then it got a bit, but it is a great game, and I have only tried the first scenario, so the other Marcy case and stuff could be amazing.
I've heard they're all really good, so I mean, I'm pretty excited to play it. I've made a pact to myself that I have to finish Pandemic Legacy before I buy this one. So
yeah, definitely. No, but I don't want to put you off it, because definitely give it a go. I think we did in a podcast, we mentioned it as one of the games we recommend playing at a board game cafe or playing somebody else's game.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. It's at my local board game cafe, so I'll give it a go there, and if I like it, I guess I'll buy it and the rest of the expansions. But
yeah, it's kind of like a console board game. When you buy Time Stories, you're buying the console, and then every expansion is kind of like a game that then goes into the console. So
it's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Another game I'm excited about is Twilight Squabble, which
sounds so hilarious.
Yeah, I know, right? Because the thing is, Twilight Struggle is a great game, but it's really hard to get into. And
I've never played it, but it's like definitely on the list. Just one of those 2-player games.
It's a game that you just have to play at least once. But David Mortimer, who designed it, I just love everything he does. Flock, and he did Pocket Imperium, and Twilight Squabble. It seems like such a fun approach on such a good game, and I can't wait to play that one. I'm so excited. So I should hopefully have that semi soon.
So it's like the same theme and everything?
Yeah, it's Cold War based.
Okay.
USA versus USSR. So yeah.
Yeah, it does sound pretty hilarious. I'd be definitely very keen to hear how that one is.
And one other game, which maybe you know about, because I believe you've been playing Cat Tower.
Oh my god, I'm obsessed with it. It's so fun. Like, everyone I play this with is obsessed with it. It's just so cute and hilarious.
Because I haven't played it, but I've seen the designer Asa Chen.
Yeah.
He's releasing more and more stuff. He's got something on Kickstarter, or semi-recently, Catbox, I believe.
Yeah.
And there's one, it's called Shiba Inu House.
Oh my god, I haven't heard of that one.
I'm so excited for this. It's coming out this year, and the thing is, I think I'm more of a dog man than a cat man, and I think this is right up my alley. I'm very excited for this game whenever it comes out. There's not a lot of information about it, just a few pictures which make it look amazing.
Oh my god, I'm looking at a picture now. The dog is so freaking cute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This Asa Chen guy, I'm really excited. Like, he's like tapped into this market, and all the games, they look incredible. And even the thing is, it's not just playing on this kind of art style and the cutesy cat dog thing.
Yeah.
The games are actually pretty clever. There's some solid game design behind it as well, because he does the art as well, I believe. And
I'm not sure, but they look amazing.
Yeah. So that is one that I'm excited about, rather slightly ashamedly.
No, it's just the cutest little thing ever. I mean, yeah, like Cat Tower, it's the only one I've played of his so far, but it is just really fun. It's just like I guess it's Jenga with a few more rules added in. So it's just, if you're a bit bored with Jenga and you just want something cute and fun.
I've got to get Russell to play that, because Jenga's his pet hate game.
Oh gosh.
So I've got to get him playing
Cat
Tower.
Then. Does he like that Rhino Hero game?
I don't know this game.
Oh, there's like I'm sure it's called Rhino Hero. There's a game that's it's like Cat Tower. It's like stacking these things. Maybe it's Rhino Quest or something. I'm sure it's like super popular. I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. Maybe I'm just butchering the name. No, look, Rhino Hero. Yeah, and it's like you're building a tower, and you have to try and get this rhino to the top of the tower to like save people or something, like in a burning building. And it's like basically like a card tower, that kind of mechanic, and you're building it up. It's very similar to Cat Tower, but I mean, Cat Tower is just a million times cuter in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
I think I have seen someone playing this, but this type of game isn't usually something that I think, because when the games that you play are either games that personally you're interested in, or something that your friends bring to you, or something. Yeah. And I think this just falls out of both of those groups. It's not something that I chase up on, and it's not something that my friends would go like, "Hey Ben, you've really got to play Rhino Hero."
Oh, for sure.
To me, I imagine like Guitar Hero, but it's all like zoo animals.
Yeah, exactly. Guitar Hero, but with a rhino. It's yeah. I mean, I can't recommend Cat Tower enough. I'm obsessed with it. It's so cute and fun, and yeah, it's funny. Even like in a simple game like that, I constantly am finding people just trying to figure out a way to screw you over. They're like, oh, if I put this cat on the real edge of the tower on your turn, you're not going to be able to stack it. And it's just like, God damn it. It's just a fun game about stacking cats.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so lots of fun.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I think We've run out of time on this time's Chit Chat, but thanks so much, Ash, for joining me and having a talk about games.
No, it's been my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me on.
And we'll do this again soon. And if any of you listening would like to hear any reviews or any of the other podcasts, please visit forchitsandgiggles.com or check us out on YouTube. And until next time, thanks for listening.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to the Chits and Giggles podcast. For more reviews and podcasts, visit forchitsandgiggles.com.